Welcome, everyone. We're going to give it just a moment for everybody to jump on the call, and we'll get started at about 2 after. Just a reminder for everyone that's joining us, we're going to give it one more minute for people to jump on. Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome and thank you to all of our valued customers for joining today's webinar. We're going to go a little bit into cost optimization with your Azure environment. We're excited to share practical strategies that will help you maximize the value of your Azure investments, leveraging the combined expertise of CDW and Microsoft. Together, we're committed to empowering our organizations with the tools and insights needed to achieve greater financial efficiency and operational excellence in the cloud. I'm excited because we have some great speakers on today's call. Our partnership with CW and Microsoft, we've done over 200,000 service engagements over the past few years together. And with that, I'm going to introduce you to our fantastic first speaker from CDW, Christopher Marcolis.
Hey, thank you, Kristen. Wow, that was like so fabulous. I'm going to pale in comparison. My enthusiasm isn't there yet. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate having your attention when there's so many other things we could be doing. My name is Christopher Marcolis. I am head of strategy for the data organization here at CDW. I am a lifelong data nerd. I've been building dashboards now for about 30 years, since, the technology existed almost. Not quite, floppy disks or punch cards, but, since then. Today, what we're showcasing is some of the art of the possible, how we can leverage analytics to solve problems and answer them being data-driven. And in particular, the use case that we're focusing on is cost management in Azure, because believe it or not, people do care. They are watching and they need to be well informed, and it needs to be accessible and at their fingertips. Now, there's a lot of ways to solve these kinds of problems, but more often than not, when our team gets engaged, they ask us to bring these solutions in a custom format to a dashboarding solution, an analytics solution, a web-based application to answer very specific questions that matter to themselves and their shareholders within the organization. So without further ado, because I could talk all day long, and you can address me in the Q&A if you'd like throughout the conversation, which we'll be handling as we go along. Today, we're going to have two of our fabulous esteemed Power BI experts, Mustanzer and Samson, kind of showcase how they built a custom dashboarding solution in Power BI to help a customer solve, their challenges around managing their costs in Azure. So with that, I'm going to pass this to Mustanzer, and I'm looking forward to the show. Thanks, everyone. And Mustanzer, you're on mute. You get the first merit of the day.
That. Okay. Let me get back. Let me know if you guys are able to see the presentation and able to hear me.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Sorry about that. Just the habit of keeping myself mute. Right. So as I'm mentioning, my name is Mr. Ansar Ali. I am part of I'm the senior management consultant, part of our data visualization data practice. We specialize in all data visualization tool. Specifically, our expertise is in Power BI, and Samson with me is also one of our senior engineers who has a deep, rich expertise in Power BI. What we're showcasing here is the art of the possible, as Chris said. It is basically a use case for Power BI and Azure Cost Management. However, this can be customized and changed for all other cloud-based management tools, as well as other visualization tools as well. But because Power BI these days has the biggest amount of attention as well as capabilities, we're going to focus more on the Power BI side. With that, the agenda for this program would be in 6 steps. First of all, we'll talk about why cost management is important, what does it entail, why organizations are looking at. You already probably know the reasoning behind it, and the reason you have cost management up in your mind, that's the reason why you're joining this webinar as well, to find what is possible out there. We'll discuss that a little bit. We'll peek into that. Then we'll talk about how or what is the peak. We'll take you inside few slides how the custom solution has been built and what is available out of the box. Then we'll talk about the technology stack that we can use and have used for this presentation. And then what are the values that you will be able to get out of this solution, and what is also customizable and achievable with the ability of different tool sets that are out there. And then Samson is going to come on and he'll give you a live presentation with a live demo with interactive dashboard and the ability to slice and dice the information. And then at the end, towards the end, we'll discuss some of the next step, how you guys can get started and work and take advantage of our team's capabilities. With that, I'm going to go to the next slide. The business case is, of course, why cost management is important. Of course, as the slide says, the 64% of IT leadership is concerned about their cloud management cost. There are more and more folks are moving towards IT leadership. Organizations are moving towards cloud. The way towards cloud is going on a very faster pace. But behind that comes into the cost management aspect of it. There are some times that in the leadership is concerned about how it is utilized, whether there are opportunities to minimize the cost, maximize the advantage, and then how we can use it. Now, the interesting part comes in where the technology folks like us come into play, because there are different tools, there are different environments, there are different components, and also on top of that, each of these technologies is changing rapidly on a faster pace than all the technology folks can keep up with. But we have come up with a much more flexible solution that we can work with and discuss how we have come up with this solution in order to make things happen from cost management perspective. All right, so the solution. This is a peek into a cost management in a brief. So what we have implemented is basically a holistic view of just in this use case that we are presenting today to you is we're only focusing on the Azure side. But however, keeping the same tone and theme alive, we can utilize that for all other cloud computing capabilities as well. What we have done is we can showcase to you how you can do subscription-based cost management, user-based cost management, site-based cost management, as well as finding out the abilities to provide you insights into not just all these components, but also create benchmarking guidelines based on your budget, based on utilization, also create some alerts and that can provide you certain guardrails in around cost management of this entire tool. Okay. This is also another one of the demo pieces that we are going to showcase shortly to you, which provides you the ability of looking at different components. And as you can see just by peeking into this, that there are different slices and variations and capabilities within the tool that we can customize as well to create a KPI based and create basically a solution where it's more custom driven, where you can customize it. The beauty of all this is uh, um, this is based on Power BI, which is much more customizable from front end dashboarding perspective. Once it's the collection of the data, it comes into play. We can stack everything together. Then the ability to use Power BI in multiple different fashion becomes much more easier and much more customizable. Okay. So this is what we have used. We basically it's a three-step process. First of all, it's a data preparation, connecting to your cloud-based environments, and then applying some ETL processes, and then creating dashboards and insights, which becomes much more interactive. Again, there is a standard out-of-the-box solution that is probably going to take care of 50 to 70% of client needs, but then there's always an opportunity to customize, and triggers and alerts can be also set up using Power Automate and Power Query. Okay. This is the way we have set things up. The use case is using Azure-based technology, but the ability to bring in AWS or Google Cloud or Salesforce or any other cloud computing tool and setting up into the environment where everything is kind of homogeneous. But then we use Power Query to pull the information that converts into our actionable insights and dashboards. With that, I'm going to go into what are the values that you're getting out of this. And this might be something that is pretty much self-explanatory, but I will probably go into this a little bit more in detail. First of all the KPIs that are defined in here are coming from one of the use cases where they wanted to spend a lot of their time in our understanding of their cost tied to different groups, resources, and users. But it also has the capability of providing your forecast information, because it can look at the historical data and start defining trends and spend so that you can convert that into more of forecasting approach. But then on top of that, you can also look at your spend against your budget. How are you doing on a month-to-month or a year-to-year or to region perspective, and how things are working against your budget, how things are combining. And then you have all your regions in one single place. All your components are in one single place. And then you also can analyze your cost by your subscription. If you have Azure subscription or AWS subscription or your Salesforce subscription. And then, of course, all of this is at the end of it, the goal and the setup is in such a way that it's all fully integrated. Your data movement is all automatic. It combines all this information automatically. The dashboard gets refreshed automatically as well. And then your triggers and alerts and your subscriptions are automatic as well. So all things are fully integrated, combined together in such a way that it presents itself in a much more homogeneous fashion, and basically it becomes a one-stop solution for the entire cost management tool. I might be going faster than I needed to, but I think we are getting to the point where we're going to start a live demo. Samson, if you're ready, let me know, and I will switch it over to you for presentation.
Sure, Mr. Thank you. I think I should be ready. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop.
Do you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay,
I can.
yes. All right, thank you, Mr. Sanders. So just like Mr. Sanders said, we're doing from his presentation. This report that I'm about to show you is a report designed to provide a comprehensive view of usage metrics. From a customer that we built this custom dashboard for. We mostly focus on Azure cost management, but we have the capability to bring in any of those cloud services that you might be using and transform the data into Power Query, and then be able to build a custom dashboard like this for you. So for this dashboard, the dashboard is segmented into various multiple visuals that offers insight into the budget usage, subscription cost, regional cost, and a comparison of the actual forecasted and total budget data. So when you look on the left side, we do have some filter panels here on the left side. I do have the month slices that put that data by specific month. In this instance, the month is set to July, and you can, choose and multiple months to compare, do month-to-month comparison as well. And then I do have that, we do have that of the year as well. If you want to do slides into year-to-year comparison, you can have the opportunity to do that as well. And then we do have that of the region. This slicer also allows you to filter data based on your different geographical regions, and multiple regions can be selected for comparative analysis. Now, with this client, they had a budget in SharePoint, and they had their Azure subscription environment also set up. So what we did is we brought in the data from Azure. We also brought in the data from their budget, which was in SharePoint, and we're able to transform that data into Power Query with all the transformation, and then we set up the automated ETL to load the data into Power BI. Now in Power BI, the leadership wanted some specific KPIs. So this was more customized to their needs, but we have the capability to add even more filters and more pages as much as you want. Now, where they were interested in building the budget first. So the budget view, or the visual you see here in the center, is it displays the current budget utilization. The figure is set to 0 because and it's in green, and that suggests that there's no budget. Budget has not been utilized so far for the selected period, which is July, and the budget is available is about 30,000 in this case. So immediately the operations and all the subscriptions goes above 30,000, the green will change to red. And then based on that, we also set up some alerts to be sent to the leadership in their Teams channel, which kind of give them information on, hey, the target or that has been set in terms of budget wise being over, so they can take immediate actions on that. And to do that, we utilize Power BI features or functionalities called the alert system. So we click on alert, and then we're able to say that for that of the budget, when the current spend amount is if it changes or it becomes greater than, let's say 30,000, then send an email or send Teams message to the leadership so that they can quickly look into that. So that was one of the number one need for this customer that we work for. Like I said, depending on your need, we can always work this out for you. And so we have this running automatically every day, and checking keeping an eye on the budget, and whenever they hit the budget, they get those alerts and then be able to take some actions on that. So we just don't give you the insight, but we help you set some thresholds and some alert system in place as well. Then we do have, on my right here, we do have top 5 subscription name by cost. So here they had different subscription in their Azure environment. So the pie chart that we have, this chart breaks down the cost distribution among the top 5 subscription names. And for, as you can see on my slide, the biggest one is definitely Contoso. And so with that, it gives you the percentage when it comes to the cost for this subscription, so that leadership will get to know which subscriptions are highly utilized and having a high cost, so that if they could explore and see, drill down to see which services or which product under this subscription is causing this high high cost, and what it could be done. It also help them to identify any gaps or any opportunity for optimization as well. And then we do have also below actual forecasted versus total budget. So this line and bar chart that we have here, this visual compares the actual expenses, forecasted expenses, and total budget on a monthly basis. We did it. What you see is on a monthly basis, but if you want to do year-to-year comparison as well, we're able to do that too. For this is how we achieve this. We were able to pull 3-year historical data based on their expenses, and then also on their budget, and use we were able to base off this historical data to do some forecasting to help the leadership make decisions around budgeting for the years ahead. So with this, the forecast, it tells them, okay, for every month, this is how based on your historical data, this is how much you are expected to spend, and this is your budget and what the actuals will be looking like. When you look at, for example, in January, the actual cost was about 5K, but the forecast was 22, and the total budget available was about 41K. So this trend shows budget consumption and forecasting accuracy over time. This helped the management to be able to allocate the right budget for the right period and for the right resources as well. And I can't stress that enough. We have, for every threshold that has been set, we're able to set up alert and triggers that runs every day to check all those values, and then keep the leadership and then the account owners informed anytime those thresholds are over. Now, we do also have the requirement to give, because the tenant or the customer was multi-tenant, they have different regions and in different part of the world and all that. So we had to also look at the top 10 regions by cost. So the bar chart on my lower right, this chart shows the cost associated with the top 10 regions. For example, we do have California. California too has the highest cost at the set period, which is July, the month of July. California has the highest cost, which is about 6.8K, followed by regions like Australia and Central, and the height of each bar corresponds to the cost incurred in each region. And like I said, we're able to filter. Once I change the month, it corresponds, and then it will give you the respective data as well. So everything, there's a relationship between the period and that of the various charts that we have as well. All right, I'll keep it at July, and then we could go ahead from here. All right, the next dashboard I want to show you is also usage by owner. So with the different subscriptions and different account owners, we want to be able to see and monitor how the various account owners are utilizing our cloud resources. So the usage by owner. This report page is focused on analyzing usage by account owner. It provides insight into cost distribution, CPU usage, and the breakdown of expenses by resource locations and user type. So first off, we do have our top account owners on my left here. And then for each account owner, we have their cost, their related cost, and the resources that they own and which regions are these resources located. So, and if we filter through by just the top, let's use the top MCS as the first account owner. It filters all the related information on this account owner. So on my right, I am able to see the location because we had a table with all the locations, and then we created that relationship with that is associated with each of these tables. So we're able to see the resource location, and then we build the cost associated with each resource location and then each resource type. So for this account owner, we're able to drill down and then go into each of those locations, and then able to identify which areas need to probably get some kind of improvement, and then help the leadership take decision from there as well. For the highest cost is associated, as you can see, with the MCS, with a total of about 40K, and then followed by, these are all dummy names. So I won't go through all the names, but the chart in general will help identify which account owners are contributing the most to the overall cost. And then for the below, we have the CPU usage by account owner. So even though the account owner overall that is contributing to the highest cost is the MCS, we are interested in looking at the CPU usage with all the virtual machines that is assigned to this account. So this chart below, where I have named CPU usage by account owner, is kind of also shows the CPU that has been used and which is measured in CPU hours. So we're able to put all that data also into the model and then look at all the hours and then be able to tell that, hey, even though this user is being highlighted or flagged as the highest consumer, we're able to tell if what specific resource is this user consuming, whether it's CPU, whether it's any of the Azure services or instances. So on my right below here, I also have a visual that shows the usage type. And as we were able to filter that, the user type is the complete HR, and the total cost that is associated with that specific service that this account owner is highly utilizing. So that also equally helps the leadership to understand which accounts are using the most computational resources and which may correlate with the higher cost that has been recorded. Then on my last slide, or my last dashboard that I will show here, the usage ranked by service. So for this customer, they also wanted to understand all the different servers that they have, understand how it's being utilized, and what could be done to optimize or save some costs. So we had this report developed, and this page is more focused. Let me remove my filters on there. Let me reset that. Okay, good. All right. So this report page also is focused on analyzing the usage by server type, specifically breaking down the costs associated with the different usage types and server types. The visuals provide a detailed overview of where most significant costs are being incurred and with the server infrastructure. So on my left, this horizontal bar, this visual categorizes the total cost by different usage types. So the disk, the storage, all of these, it gives, the leadership the kind of insight they want. They want to see which of these different resources are highly contributing to cost. And then we also do have the cost usage by type, whether it's Windows, whether it's SQL servers, all the different instances that they have across. It kind of also give that insight. And then we'll be able to set up triggers on these as well, and then be able to act on them. Now, before I quickly switch to, before I conclude, there's another one dashboard I wanted to quickly run through. So this was mostly on
Samson?
Agile cost management. Yep.
Let me set up the stage for that one.
Okay.
I'll just add a couple of points here. What we wanted to showcase here is basically an augmentation to this current offering. We focused primarily on the cost analysis of Azure side, but with that, we also have requirements and customers out there that are looking for Power BI specific cost analysis, and also have the ability of providing what Power BI can provide just if Power BI is one of their components. So we are also showcasing here, and this is kind of a preview of one of our next seminars. We'll go into a little bit more detail towards that, is the audit dashboard with the ability to analyze Power BI licensing, Power BI usage, and Power BI capabilities. So Samson, just spend like a couple of minutes showcasing and providing that dashboard capability.
Sure. So, like Mr. said, with this dashboard, this was a custom developed dashboard that is primarily focusing on how to manage your Power BI tenant in terms of all your reports, your workspaces, your users, your licensing. Because we initially did this for a client where they were spending so much money on Power BI licensing. And based off this assessment, we were able to showcase to the customer that, look, even though you have about 10,000 licensing, out of these, just about 20% are actually using Power BI. So we were able to build an ETL tool that extract all this metadata, and we built a report like this on top of that. And that showcased the number of workspaces they have in the entire organization. How many of these workspaces are even owned or by people? People just probably create workspaces, leave it without even utilizing them. And then we also want to look at the number of reports, whether they are actively being used, because with so that they will know which report that needs to be allocated more resources, more cloud resources, and they would just not purchase premium capacities and spend a lot of money on these resources, but these reports are not even active, or they're not even used within that. So this kind of view also help them to save some cost as well in terms of Power BI licensing and Power BI capacity as well. And quickly I'll run to, we have the workspace view, which kind of also show all the kind of workspaces they have. Report view also gives you high level, how many reports you have, who are those accessing this report, where are the report located? Is the report in personal workspaces, or is it in a shared workspaces? If you want to track or look for a specific user and track the activities, how are you going to do that? So we're able to create a search bar here where you can just type in the user's name, and then it will show you every report that this user has ever accessed and what kind of activities they were doing on this or relating to this report. And then lastly, I'll jump onto the users. So we're able to filter out who are your active users with your Power BI. We're able to figure out the top users, and we are the same way, the opposite, we can figure out, filter out those that never even log into your Power BI, even if they have the license. So that way you could, reach out to these individuals and then see if they don't need a license, then you take away the license and then probably you save some cost as well. So there are many other dashboard within here. This is one of our big dashboard, but there will be a good opportunity for us to go into details on how we build this dashboard as well. But overall, these are all related to how we can manage our cloud resources and then how we can identify those gaps and then take actions which could end up saving some costs and then also helping us keeping an eye on every operation that goes on within our cloud services.
All right, thank you, Samson. I will share my screen, and what I will do is we'll talk about the last slide. What are the next steps? So you utilizing all of it's not going there. So utilizing these basically custom dashboard capabilities, it will provide you much more better optimized solution for your cloud computing cost, as well as from individual Power BI Power BI capabilities. Of course, from tools perspective, this is from cloud tool, this is tool agnostic, but from front end capability, this is based on Power BI, but that is also customizable as well. If there is a need towards that, then we can discuss that strategy. Now, with that, we can turn it over into Q&A, but prior to that, let's bring back Chris. And Chris, if you can discuss what are our next steps are going to be, and we can then talk about questions.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Danzer and Samson. That was fabulous. If I were to distill a couple of the questions, well, there's only a couple of questions that came through so far. Like, why are you doing this in Power BI? Why aren't you using CDW's Inscape solution? Why aren't you using the native capabilities built into Azure? Well, the answer is, I hope you're using all of these tools. And, I'm going to call myself a business layperson. I'm starting to think as I grow in my career, how do I operationalize critical thinking and decision making using data, not just for myself, but throughout my organization and enabling others throughout the company? And the answer is like that democratization of data, promoting accessible data to people everywhere. And so when someone would ask me, why don't you use the native capabilities? You should. But do I want to expose those capabilities to a business manager down the pyramid that doesn't necessarily need to understand the complicity of, a license being used versus an audit outcome versus a dashboard versus a query? Like, some people just need some basic information to be part of the conversation and contribute to it. So, I might be a manager who just needs to understand my slice of the cost as a part of our Microsoft investment, but I also do care about, the revenue and the sales and the returns and the number of widgets that went out the door. I might want to consume those things together because they have a relationship to me and my business unit. So today, I guess what we're really advocating for is leverage your massive investment in Microsoft. That's why you're all here, right? We're all using Microsoft things and we love them, to build and communicate and distribute information to everybody in the organization and help them be part of the conversation. Let's mix and mash data together into an experience so that everybody can be part of the conversation and have meaningful contributions to make versus hearsay and questionable input because they're not data driven. They're not using data to solve the problem. That's like my number one focus in life, is to put data in the hands of many people. And so for me, it's like more is more. And the more people that are involved, the more they understand, the less friction that's created, the more openness they have to change and growth and alternative ways of doing things. And so for me today, what they showcased is a reminder of the art of the possible. Build dashboards for the audience of people at their level for their consumption. Leverage your investments, because this is just a bit of sweat equity. Connect some widgets, use some APIs, use that warehouse, build another one, and bring all the data together so that everybody, can feel like they're part of the conversation. I think that's the biggest thing I'd like to share and take away. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
No, thank you, Chris. Nothing from my end. If we have any additional Q&A, then we can answer those. If not, then we can look at the next steps.
What I'd like to say on that is you guys will be receiving, you guys and gals and others will be receiving a survey at the conclusion of this webinar. Please feel free to answer the survey, good, bad, and the ugly, right? In particular, there's a section where you can freeform some text and make recommendations for other content you'd like to see. We love talking about data. It's what we do all day long, every day. We believe in it. So please complete that survey and let us know. Kristen, would you like to wrap us up?
Yep, and I get the easy part. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate the time you spent for us. Keep an eye out for more invites. We've got a lot of great things coming out this year, new services, new products, and a lot of great talent to back it up. So thank you. Have a wonderful day and keep an eye out for that survey.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.